Hello Internet, welcome to my YouTube channel, A Minor Error. My name is Rob, and in this video we're going to be taking an in-depth look at a Strandberg Original 7 Poplar Burl. But first, before I get into this video, if you like it and you'd like to help support me directly, I've provided some affiliate links down below in the description. That's a great way of supporting me and helping me be able to continue to make videos like this. As always, check the chapters down below, help you skip around and get to the part of the video you're most interested in. The flow of this video is going to go a track that I recorded exclusively on this guitar, then we're going to talk about its features, the good, the bad, and finally the verdict if I think you should consider buying this guitar. So let's take a listen and hear how this instrument sounds. So now that we've heard the guitar, you may have noticed a little bit of the theme with my Doom t-shirts. This track is called Shawn's Got the Shotgun, and it's one of my favorite original tracks from the old school Doom and Doom 2 video games. This track is a part of my Doom Volume 2 cover EP. Yes, it is Volume 2. I do have a Volume 1 as well, so if you would like to check those out, check the description down below. They're all streaming right now on all of your regular kind of platforms. Also available to purchase off of my Bandcamp if you're interested, as well as full tabs of this and all of the tracks covering all of the guitar parts. Again, description down below. So let's talk about this guitar's features. First, this is an expensive instrument at basically $2,500 new, so it is a professional quality guitar. This guitar has a swamp ash body that is chambered with a Poplar Burl top and bolt-on construction. The neck of the guitar is Strandberg's kind of crazy EndurNeck, which is a headless multi-scale design. It has 24 Jescar stainless steel frets. It's a roasted maple neck with carbon fiber reinforcement. The multi-scale is 26.25 inches long on the bass strings, and then on the treble side, a regular 25.5 inches long. If you're unfamiliar what multi-scale means, it's basically that the bass side of the neck is longer than the treble side, which puts more pressure on the lower strings, but does not put more pressure on the higher strings. That's like a problem you might run into if you're playing like a baritone guitar. That the low strings will be nice and tight, but then the high strings are gonna be uncomfortable for bending and just lead guitar playing. So the multi-scale design is one way of working around that. It also makes the guitar easier to set up in different tunings. So for this particular track, which is one of my favorite off of the old Doom video game, it's in drop A flat. So that multi-scale design helps keep those low notes in tune. It also helps avoid any flubbiness in the low end, keeps the notes nice and tight in response. For the pickups, you've got two Fishman Fluence pickups, humbuckers in the neck and the bridge. The neck is a Fishman Fluence Modern Alnico, and the bridge is a Fishman Fluence Modern ceramic pickup. These pickups are active pickups, so they do require a battery to operate, and they're wired up to a three-way switch, a master tone, a master volume, which has both push-pull on both pots, one that accesses kind of spanky Strat split coil tones, and then the other one gives you an alternate set of voicings for the pickups. The hardware on this guitar is Strandberg's own tremolo. They're currently one of only a few different brands that are offering a multi-scale tremolo. On to the good. Firstly, it's an expensive instrument and the fit and finish is fantastic. It's very well made and there has been nice attention to detail here. Doesn't mean that it's perfect, but overall, yes, I think the price tag is reflected in the quality of the woods, the quality of the construction, and how well it is made. The next positive is that this guitar stays in tune fantastic. It's probably the best Strandberg I've actually ever played staying in tune, and the micro tuners are extra smooth and easy to operate on this particular model. Not that the other ones are really hard to turn, but it's just extra easy on this one. Another positive, I think, is the way the top looks and where the burl is on my particular one that I happen to get. At first, I wasn't so sure about it. The burl is in sort of an awkward place that blows up the Strandberg logo, which is kind of weird, but I like the way the burl top is solid right where my hand happens to rest on the guitar, which actually makes it extremely comfortable to play. I also think that this particular finish really pops in the light. We will come back to the negative part, I think, of how the guitar looks, but when stage lighting or some sort of lighting source hits it, I think the top pops and the sunburst is beautiful, and I also really like the color that I happen to get on this roasted maple neck. There's some nice bird's eyeing there that is very beautiful. Another positive for me is the EndurNeck. If you're unsure about the Strandberg EndurNeck, if you've never heard of it, it is kind of a unique design. It's basically got these flat parts with this strip that runs kind of diagonal down the middle of the neck. I have made a dedicated video really talking about the neck, which I'll link here, so you can stop by and check that out. I will fully admit that the EndurNeck is not for everyone. Certain people might totally not like it. I happen to love it and think it's a very unique and awesome design, especially if you're doing shreddier techniques. It really helps you hold your position in a better place where you're going to be able to play longer and hopefully avoid any sort of injury. I've also also found for bending that those flat sections gives you a superior amount of leverage over top of the strings. You can really control them for bending and for your vibrato. So now that I'm about halfway through this video, it's a good time for me to plug what I do. So first, I'm an original progressive metal guitar player. I write and release my own music here on my channel. I also do thorough guitar reviews like this one, other product reviews, and some music theory and guitar lessons on my channel. I also do give Zoom lessons. I give guitar lessons, music theory lessons, ear training, and music production lessons on Zoom. So if you're interested in a lesson, contact info down below. And on to the bad. Unfortunately, I'm going to start right off the top that yet once again I've encountered another Strandberg with absolutely horrid fret sprout. I've had many different discussions with different people online about whether the fret sprout is bad quality control or if it is because the guitars are manufactured in Indonesia in a high humidity climate, and then when they're brought over to the States where there's less humidity, that's where the fret sprout is coming from. My personal opinion is I don't care either way. I think that it's then Strandberg USA's job to double check and make sure the guitars are ready for delivery. For a $2,500 guitar to have basically fretwork the equivalent of a Squier Strat is just completely unacceptable to me. Yes, I know you could take it to a luthier and they would be able to fix it pretty quickly and easily, and it's not crazy expensive, but again, if you're spending this kind of premium dollars, they really need to be double checking that that is not an issue. I also happen to have a small quirk with the micro tuners on this guitar. The G or third string happen to have this weird sort of binding issue, and the little kind of piece of the assembly that slides up and down as you're making the string tighter or looser was kind of getting stuck, and I was managed to knock it off and put it in the correct location, and now it's perfectly fine, but it was a strange little thing that I'd never encountered before. Another negative is the heel of the body. The way that it meets the neck is not the most sculpted with the original Strandberg Bowden design. Now they do have a new model that just came out, the NX, which has much better sculpting, reminds me a lot of like an Ibanez all-access neck joint, but it is worthwhile to point out here that yes, the upper fret access actually isn't completely the best and the easiest compared to what you might be used to. So for me, my original song World Minus One happens to have a couple large slides. Playing those passages on this guitar was definitely problematic and worthwhile to point out. And the last negative here to me, I'm gonna say it, are the Fishman Fluence pickups. I'm pretty much just done with these pickups and not a big fan of them. Now I'm not saying that they're like poor quality, they're definitely well-made pickups, and I understand why a lot of people do like them. For me personally, I've been running them just into digital amps, and I think this is sort of the issue, that when you run basically a digital pickup into a digital amp, it's just very sterile and very lifeless. It's missing that mojo you get from a good passive set of pickups. I understand the advantages of the Fishman. The pickups are more consistent from set to set and all of those different things. I just think for me personally, this guitar, especially with the tone woods that it's equipped with, if you put a great set of passive pickups, which I will definitely be doing, it's really gonna open up this instrument and make it a fantastic lead guitar especially. Which also segues nicely to the three-way switch. I'm completely done with three-way switches and push-pull pots. I don't want something that takes two actions to do something that you should only need to do one to change your pickup sound. So for me personally, I will actually be keeping this instrument, and the pickups are gonna be coming out basically immediately, and I'm gonna be going with a good old-fashioned five-way switch. And the verdict, should you consider buying this guitar? Now obviously first, it's kind of hard to find one right now in general, and I don't know if they're going to be bringing them back. So this might be better suited to say, should you consider buying like just a Strandberg original in general? In my opinion, the Strandberg design is one of the best on the market. This guitar is insanely comfortable to play both sitting and standing. The placement of the strap pins kind of pulls the body away from your body and is unbelievably comfortable standing. When you're sitting, it's also extremely comfortable, whether you're on your sort of traditional right leg or if you like to do classical. I've definitely fallen in love with playing the guitar classical style on my left leg. The body style is just so unbelievably comfortable. You can play sitting for hours and not have any fatigue. Another thing is the EndurNeck with the multi-scale and the tremolo. It's a package that literally no other manufacturer is offering, which is a thing that I love about it. I'm also really excited that I picked up this guitar when I did. Strandberg is no longer going to be making their guitars using swamp ash bodies. They're changing the woods to mostly sassafras from what I could find out, and I've never played that. From what I've read, it's similar to swamp ash, but not the same. So a little concerned about how the frequency response is going to be on the new models. They're also not going to be using any more ebony. They've made the switch to Richlite as it's a more sustainable material, which I understand, but I'm personally a huge fan of an ebony fingerboard, especially like the Strandberg Prog line is a fantastic looking and playing and sounding instrument. So, I'm glad I managed to pick this one up before all of those body woods basically started going away. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you got something interesting out of it. Definitely leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about how it sounded and performed. Love to discuss shop with everybody. If you're interested in seeing my other Strandberg reviews, as I've done quite a lot, stop by my channel and you can find them all there in my guitar reviews playlist.